right, here we go.
Here we go.
We don't know where we're going, but we're going. Come with us, please.
Please come on this journey.
I'm Amy.
I'm Whitney, and we are On the Haunt, a paranormal comedy podcast.
I don't know. What are we doing?
Just trying to get you to just talk with me. Hey, guys. What's up? What's new? What you doing?
How's it going?
We're just here
This
hanging out
episode's
with you.
coming out like 3 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now. We don't
What's
even
happening
know.
in the future?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Is the future brighter than today? I hope so.
Today's annoying.
It really is already.
Yeah. Anywho, I'm reading something interesting.
Okay.
I was reading something interesting when a few weeks from when this comes out. Station 11. Have you watched that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you to watch it.
Okay. I need to finish the book first. Is it good?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It's weird, but
Yeah. I think I like. I mean, I like weird. So.
And you also need to watch The Witcher. Don't forget that.
The Witcher. I need to write that down.
Yeah.
The
Witcher. Henry Cavill. You are
Witcher.
beautiful.
Oh, who used to be Superman?
Yes.
Superman, Spider-Man. Also,
He's really big. Like
in what way?
just large in stature.
As you're defining big.
Also, I just didn't realize how big he was. So I watched The Witcher. Or maybe everyone else in there was just really little.
Wait, is it Robert Pattinson who's Batman?
The Batman.
Why did I just think it was Harry Potter?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Sometimes I interchange them.
But isn't he's in something now, too?
So, sometimes I get them because Cedric Diggory, and it's like there's
they
just so
look
much.
alike.
Yeah. I'm really weirded out by that. Robert Pattinson is the Why is it the Batman? Because they make 50 billion of these movies. They have to like change one
Just
thing.
put the in front of it.
Batman Returns. The Batman. Batman again. Batman still
Forever.
Here. Batman Forever. I think that's the one I watched the most as a kid. Is that the one with Alicia Silverstone?
Maybe. I have no idea.
Is she Poison Ivy or is she Batgirl? Anyway, who cares? It doesn't matter. And which one has Danny DeVito as the Penguin?
Or the Penguin. I don't know anything about anything.
Is it the Penguin? The Riddler! What is... And who's that? The Joker and the Riddler?
Yeah. Could he be a little creative?
I mean, there's just so many jokes being thrown around. But the Riddler is ridiculous, I feel like.
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, I don't know anything.
I don't either.
The Riddler just has question marks all over his suit.
I'm the Riddler. I don't know any answers. I don't know anything about Batman.
Dumb. Like, did someone give him that nickname? And he's just
Bruce Wayne. Lame.
Yeah, who has the... There's just so many memes going around, too, about how he's a butler and...
Yeah. I am reading a book written by, let me think of her name, Jenny Pentland, I believe, not Pentland. She's Roseanne Barr's daughter.
Pentland.
Who I realize in recent years Roseanne Barr has become problematic, but I used to love
the show
growing up because I felt like it was just so representative of real people.
Of our lives.
But this is written by her daughter. And just talking about how her childhood and
what that
being
was
just like normal people, and then all of a sudden her mom became super famous.
Okay.
And she's really, really funny. So it's called This Will Be Funny Later, I think.
That's fun.
So it's a good memoir if you're into memoirs. So I'm enjoying it.
Amy really does love a good memoir.
I really do. God help me.
Yep. What else is going on? We're just living our best lives over here, I guess. And shall we just do this?
By the time this comes out, I may have already died from all the prom drama. It's always something. Always something.
Yikes, teenagers.
Taking Carter's suit shopping later today.
Cute.
Going to Macy's.
It's going to be so cute. Just send some pictures.
Okay.
I want to see him.
I'm sure he'll really let me take any.
Just
He probably won't even come out and let me see him in it. He'll probably be like, "It fit."
You're like, no, if I'm doing get out here, kid.
I'll tell you what I hate. Like the shirts. They're always in packages.
And you can't.
So you can't try them on. I'm like, I don't know what a neck. Do I measure his neck, I guess, before we go?
But can't you take them out? Like, I know it.
Well, there's so many pins and stuff in them, though.
But when I've taken Kyle shopping...
He is not allowed to go unsupervised. It's terrible taste.
Yeah, it does. Only gray. So we're doing Little League right now, and I'm buying the shirt for the kids, and he's like, "Can we just do gray?" And I'm like, "Kyle, Matt, these are children.
Yeah, they don't.
Why am I doing this and doing like the Italian Mamma Mia?" These are kids. They don't just want gray shirts. No. I bought him a blue Under Armour hoodie for Christmas. He's like, "Well, I don't really wear blue." I'm like, "Oh God, okay, sorry." blue. It's such a weird color.
It really is. Really outside of his comfort zone.
And he looks great in it. And he wears it all the time.
Like, it brings out your eyes.
I know, I'm like,
know what color his eyes are.
blue.
Okay, then.
I know. And I'm like, well, sorry you, like, you know, don't have any clothes. So God. He's like having a child. The other day he's like, I think I'm going to have to buy a couple more pairs of jeans. The one I have is the two I have are really getting worn out. I'm like, you're so...
Well, Brecca
5 years old.
came home a few weeks ago and was like, man, I just bought all these new jeans at American Eagle, and look, they all just keep ripping out. I'm like, son, you need a bigger size. Like, what?
You can't keep buying the same size.
You have your mom's thighs, son. Like, you gotta get...
And her booty.
Need a loose fit. The only one in this family can wear a slim fit is Carter.
Yes. He is just slim fit.
But he doesn't like a slim fit because then you can see how slim he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't want. I mean, it's just uncomfortable.
Cat and Jack. I don't know. I told you the other day I don't know why I'm doing
Don't
the
tell
outburst.
everyone he wears Cat and Jack.
Hey, he loves it, and it's very economically responsible.
Cat and Jack makes great children.
They really do
For 16-year-olds.
Oh, God bless
so
him.
soft. Okay. Shall we?
Well, let's go. My kids are never.
Oh my God. Thank God
they don't listen.
They would never
speak to me again,
exactly
or they would ban me from ever doing.
They
this
immediately
podcast
put
again.
you into the terrible nursing home we were talking about. Okay.
Yes.
Today I'm talking about the ghosts of Gettysburg. I must
Estelle Getty from Golden Girls. Yes, I'm here for it.
I cannot talk.
Hey, I'm glad it happens to you too. You wascally wabbit.
Yeah, let's get
Estelle
Yee
Getty
on
is
the phone.
also not our spirit guide. Shut up! Why are you gonna keep throwing that in my face?
So funny. And Yee is just all over the news, you know? So every time I see him,
I could have called him Yay.
yes, yay.
Go.
It is yay. You're so funny.
I don't know why I was thinking of Beyonce. I was thinking I could have called her
You
Bae.
were so serious too. You were just like, gotcha. And again, I just call you my geriatric friend. I love you so much. I will always take care of you. I promise.
That is your oath to me.
Oh, sweet Jesus, take the wheel.
Well, it should be Yee. Who do I need to talk to about getting this
It should be Yee. He has Yee's.
remedied?
We should just...
It should just be Kanye, actually, because that's your name.
Oh my God, I'm crying. Back to Gettysburg.
Yes, please get back to it.
Okay. Gettysburg. We all know what it is.
Yes. If you don't, well, not everyone. We have international
It's true.
listeners.
There goes that American narcissism again. God dang it. Always comes out. All right, let me tell you a little bit about Gettysburg then, if you don't know. Let me do that right here for you. So the Battle of Gettysburg was a battle during the American Civil War. That's where we fought ourselves.
Yeah. Was it like
Civil.
the biggest?
It was. 50,000 people died, and it only lasted from July 1st to July 3rd.
And they still do reenactments all over the country.
Why do you want to
in
remember
Pittsfield,
that?
Illinois. Why are you reenacting? Or maybe it's not Gettysburg. Maybe they're just doing like a Civil War reenactment. Never mind.
Just Gettysburg.
But did the Civil War happen there?
In Illinois?
Yeah.
I feel like...
I don't know.
What? Oh, Lord.
so dumb.
In my mind, the like battles were only in the South. I don't know why I feel that, but I don't think that's probably true. I should read a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally 50,000 soldiers died in 3 days. That's crazy.
That's a lot of people.
So of course Gettysburg is like haunted.
Yeah.
Probably actually the most haunted.
Bloodiest battle of all time.
Probably actually the most haunted place in America. Sorry, Savannah, Georgia. Get over yourself. Well, maybe there were wars. Maybe there were battles fought there too.
Well, yeah, but not.
Oh yeah, I literally just said it last episode.
But not. Yeah, they had a Civil War hospital. But it of those
Not this
many
one.
people died
the
at
worst
Gettysburg.
So the Battle of
Probably,
Gettysburg
allegedly.
is important because it is known to be a turning point in the American Civil War. So the 3 days of brutal battle caused a large number of casualties and generals killed in action during the Civil War. So a lot of people still go there for vacation, which is so...
Or if you watch Sweet Home Alabama,
They
do a... That's probably not Gettysburg either.
No, Gettysburg is... What
Where is
state
Gettysburg?
Well, let me tell you where Gettysburg is. Hold on, this is loading. How do I not know? Why do I feel like it's in Virginia? Is that right? God, help me.
Listen, we just copy and paste, okay? We can't know all the things.
It's literally nowhere is it even Pennsylvania. I knew it was in the north somewhere. So yes, there was fighting in the north. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Okay, great. Moving on.
Why did we think it was in the South?
I didn't. You did.
Because it's Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah,
which is where I got my lightning glass reference. Listen, I love Reese Witherspoon. She's amazing.
Book club is
She's
great
beautiful.
too. I don't give a crap if some people think it's stupid or basic. It's fun, and she picks good books.
That's right.
Most of them.
Kohl's now carries her clothing line.
Draper James. I've always wanted to buy some, but it's very pricey.
Expensive.
It's so cute. So much gingham.
It's very like
Gingham.
4th of July-ish, right? I just think the 4th of July. I don't wear gingham on the 4th of July. I'm just bathing in my own sweat on the 4th of July, praying for relief.
Always breaks out her gingham gown.
I'm so patriotic. Well, at least I'm not wearing the lame Old Navy shirt.
As Amy said yesterday or Thursday, has the market on the 4th of July shirt.
Do
you go out every year and buy a 4th of July shirt from Old Navy?
Because some people
You should reevaluate that.
Really should.
No offense.
No.
Just get
Old
one.
Navy, you make lovely clothes. I'm not.
Right. Just get one shirt with the flag on it, like an eagle or something.
Or red, white, and blue shirts.
Or if you live in New Zealand, don't care.
Yeah.
So, why are we the dumbest country?
Why are we so proud of,
oh my God, I literally almost...
Navy t-shirts.
I almost peed. Because you're like, why are we so proud to be American?
No, I don't mean... I'm patriotic, I swear. But
why are there so many songs about how proud you are to be an American?
Toby Keith, we get it.
He built his whole career on being proud American. And some people eat that crap up.
Yeah. Kid Rock. You look like Dr. Phil. Just go away. I'm insulting. Okay, I can...
Kid Rock, you're embarrassing.
You really are.
Ball, but the ball, the bang, the bang.
Didn't he just do an interview where he said like Trump came to him for advice on something really important when he was president? What?
That doesn't surprise me, but why would you ever think Kid Rock? Literally the trashiest
baby. See, he's patriotic.
The trashiest American. He's the worst. If there was a...
What is his name? Bob Ritchie or something? Donald Trump probably thought his name was actually Kid Rock. Kid, come here. Got a question.
Where did they meet? At Kid Rock's house? What is that?
He's a huge supporter.
What? I'm sure he is. None of that's surprising. And I'm sorry, but if you are running for office and your biggest celebrity supporter is Kid Rock, reevaluate your whole life.
Yeah.
All of it. Oh my God.
Okay.
We do love America, but it's also hilarious.
But we also... One of the things we love about America is that we're entitled to our own opinions.
Yes, we are.
So we appreciate that. We do not.
What is it? Look, I say this we say this every episode.
We take it for granted.
No, we're not.
All the freedoms and liberties we have.
That is true. But there are so many ridiculous, hilarious people in this country.
Yeah.
And we are loving critics of our country.
That's right.
Thank you, Benjamin Franklin.
Yes.
A normal American, I think. Hopefully he's
and
not...
my grandpa fought in World War II.
Yes.
Maybe he's my spirit guide.
Sorry. Well, that's one way to kick off a podcast. Literally. I literally peed like 3 drops.
Sorry, Chris. Is that chair all leather?
It didn't get out of anywhere. Okay, when you're a mom, things happen.
It really
And when your friend is Amy,
even more things happen.
Well, it could be yay. Yeah, great. Anyway, let's talk about the 10 most haunted places.
I gotta open the window back up.
Okay.
My jeans are saturated with sweat.
My hands are very sweaty also. We clearly have like adrenal gland issues.
Hormonal imbalances.
Right. Okay, let's talk about the 10 most haunted places in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, shall we?
We gotta get back on track.
Number 10. The Hoffman Mansion. Like many private homes and estates in Gettysburg, the Hoffman Mansion was converted into a makeshift field hospital as the battle reached its grounds. God, what a time to be alive, honestly. You're just like at home with your family and they're like, well, we're coming in.
Yeah.
Because you have to. Or maybe you weren't at home because maybe you wouldn't. I don't know. Maybe they were left like empty because you were like fleeing.
Well, only the wealthy people had places to flee to.
Well, right. And if this is your house, you were wealthy.
Yeah, you're fleeing.
Yeah, you're fleeing for sure. But anywho. It's thought that the spirits of Union soldiers still take up residence in the mansion, and visitors to the site have reported hearing disembodied voices and seeing apparitions
who are operating the apparatus of the cannon
of soldiers. We should go here. This is closer than Savannah, Georgia, isn't it? Pennsylvania? That's still pretty far.
I think
it's also.
Why are you really asking me distant questions?
Amy, tell me how many feet are in a mile. It's also rumored that the daughter of the man who owned the mansion. Why did they?
Sorry, I always start coughing when we get to laughing.
Can you? I have another dumb question. Why did they... Amy's alive. Why do they say hanged instead of hung? When you say they say you hanged yourself, not hung. That never makes sense to me. Do you know? Shoot us an email.
Is hanged more of a verb, and hung is just the past tense of something?
Of hang, right? I always thought hung was the past tense of hang. Anyway,
but you could say things or move on. Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi was hanging out. Wow. Is that real? Moving on. It's alarming. Okay. We don't know why. Do you know why? Tell us if you do about the hanged hung thing. Who owned the mansion hanged herself in the attic after learning that her lover had been unfaithful to her. Oh, poor baby. Also, boys aren't worth it. Or girls. No. Whoever your lover was. Her spirit is said to occupy the attic space in particular and makes appearances in photos as orbs or other light anomalies. The Hoffman Mansion can be rented out for private ghost hunts for those looking for a different kind of a tourist attraction in Gettysburg. Well, that's the only kind of tourist attraction in Gettysburg I'm looking for. Next up, number 9, the Gettysburg Hotel. One of the town's most paranormally active inns, the Gettysburg Hotel, is thought to be home to a spirit affectionately known as Rachel. Both guests and employees of the hotel believe Rachel is the spirit of a Civil War nurse, and many people have reported seeing an apparition of a woman running down the stairs as if to help someone in need. Others have reported having drawers in their rooms opening or their belongings being rifled through. Are you just seeing your underwear moving about?
Rachel, get out of there!
Get out of their drawers. One hopes that these occurrences are the work of a spirit, not a thief, though. Sorry, this is from the website civilwarghosts.com, by the way.
Well, I'd much rather a ghost be going through my panty drawer than like a person.
Ew, a gross perv. Pearl. She would.
She would.
She nasty.
Pearl would be a peeping Tom for
Pearl
certain.
Nasty. She was.
Yeah, that's right.
Pearl was.
With her blue eyeshadow.
Please go watch X so you get our ridiculous jokes.
So we're not the only people.
Go ahead and wait till it's on a streaming service, though.
Well, no, go to the theater so when they like examine ticket sales, it's all like Annie and Whitney, the only people in America, and that one guy.
Well, apparently it did well at South by Southwest, so
okay,
and it's getting rave reviews, which is
Stephen King recommended it,
which is kind of shocking.
I think it was supposed to be like an underlying theme, like
definitely
regret aging.
Yeah, beauty.
But all we did was laugh.
Beauty doesn't last.
Beauty fades.
Beauty fades for sure.
Yeah.
So your skin fades.
Your hair becomes crunchy. I'm at that stage of life.
Oh, you are not. Your hair is beautiful. Number 8, the Sax-covered bridge. Bridges as a whole have a rather rich supernatural baggage associated with them. Really? Well, they always say bridges? Covered bridges? I feel like you do see a lot about like ghosts, like haunted covered bridges, though, you know? Go to one side and then shout to the other. Are you following what a covered bridge is?
I know what a covered bridge is. Just like on Silver Bullet, Marty gets his wheelchair stuck in it. The werewolf tries to kill him. I told you I was a Corey Haim fan.
That is not okay. Did someone help him?
He got out.
God.
He shot him in the eye with a bottle rocket. R.I.P.
Really,
Corey Haim. You're a
bridges should really be more handicap friendly.
They really should.
Cool.
And the covered bridges are like the blum, 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 blum.
Not
you
safe.
Know?
This is not safe. This one is like,
or also known as wooden planks.
This one has like, it's like blocked off where you can't even go into it.
Yeah, because they're all like condemned. Nobody makes covered bridges anymore.
Why is it covered anyway?
I don't know either.
You know, what's
maybe
the
that
purpose?
was your like
you
thrill.
waited out
that
the
was
rain.
Your excitement.
Oh,
going through, like, you know, when you're on a roller coaster and it goes through the tunnel.
Or is that
only the coal mine? Six Flags.
God, I think there are lots of tunnels and also trains. Maybe you like waited out the rain if you're on your horse and buggy.
Yeah.
You're just like, get to the covered bridge
and go for it, which people still do with like overpasses. I'm like, are you? What? I'm going.
Just driving 5.
Yeah, I'm still going. I'm not pulling. Now if it starts to hail really hard, maybe.
That's where she draws the line. Wow. Designated Pennsylvania's most historic bridge. I work with someone who's from Pennsylvania. She moved here, obviously, but she is from Pennsylvania. They love the crap out of Benjamin Franklin there. Well, he's from there. She we're just always joking. I used to work with her real closely, joking about Benjamin Franklin, and just he's on everything Pennsylvania. I mean,
claim to fame.
It's like us and Mark Twain. Love that crap. Okay. Designated Pennsylvania's most historic bridge, this scenic covered bridge is rumored to be where 3 Confederate soldiers were hanged for attempting to desert during the Battle of Gettysburg. Desertion was common during the Civil War, as most soldiers had never experienced battle before and were often far too young.
11 years old.
Yeah, and were far too young to even enlist. Yeah, I mean, it's like not... Not great. Stephen Crane's famous novel, The Red Badge of Courage. I didn't read that, but I remember it being like an option in middle school.
Yeah, I remember it.
I should read it. Deals with the topic of desertion and describes in detail the all-consuming terror soldiers experience at the hands of their fellow countrymen. So sad. Sax-covered bridge is said to be guarded by the spirits of the soldiers who were hanged there, and many people have reported a feeling of uneasiness. Well, then are they guarding it? Well, maybe. They're like, don't come in here.
Get out.
Others have witnessed full-body apparitions of a soldier pacing along the bridge's length. Interesting. Again, you're just doing your job for all eternity.
On a covered bridge.
Let's just hope it's just like,
serene.
Crap. No, what's the called when it's like not a intelligent haunting. A residual haunting. Just the energy burned into the atmosphere.
It's like
universe.
A video on a loop.
Thank you, Amy.
You're welcome. For that was my contribution.
Thank you for that hot take. She was so intense. I wish this was more of a visual medium because Amy's facial expressions are great. Number 7, the Daniel Lady Farm. It's just where they breed all the ladies.
They just grow right out the ground.
Hello! We just
lady.
Is that his last name?
That's they only grow Lady Gagas, though. So if you're not into it, bye.
Get out of here. Used as a Confederate field hospital during the battle, the Daniel Lady Farm has retained astonishing evidence of its gruesome history throughout the decades. There are blood stains from amputated limbs and even bloody fingerprints visible in the woodwork around the home.
I believe that.
In the barn area, one can find initials and other graffiti carved into the beams by Confederate soldiers. You can't get that blood out?
Well, no, not if it soaks into wood.
Oh my God.
I mean, you'd have to just replace
There's
the wood.
no way I could live there. I'm sure it's like a museum or something, because like you're just like going down to eat your breakfast and there's like blood. What's that, Mom? Well, let me tell you about the war. Forensic testing proved the legitimacy of the bloodstains in the house, and cadaver dogs have confirmed the presence of graves around the farm. Well, I'm sure. I mean, like 50,000 people. Where are you going to bury them? Both the house and the barn still show signs of structural damage attained during the battle, and many believe that the farm is a site of several hauntings. The upstairs area of the home is believed to be particularly active, and historical records tell us that when the Lady family returned to the farm after the battle, they discovered the body of a dead Confederate soldier lying in one of their upstairs bedrooms.
Ew.
Okay, he's like, they just left him behind at the hospital? Did everyone do a roundup? Did you guys check the upstairs bedroom?
Bob. Missing Bob. Head count?
We're fine. Let's just go.
It's like on Home Alone. They actually counted the neighbor kid.
Oh, Lord. Number 6, the Jeannie Wade House. The Jeannie Wade House occupies a unique place in Gettysburg history. Jeannie Wade was a 20-year-old seamstress living in Gettysburg around the time of the battle. Her sister had given birth just a few days before the fighting broke out, and Jenny came to stay at her sister's house, both because it was considered to be on the safer end of town, away from the fighting, and to help take care of the newborn baby. Oh my God, you have a newborn baby, and then there's a battle raging in your town? That's the worst.
And you have to do all the sewing.
That's the worst part.
It really is.
Oh my gosh. Historical records tell us that on the morning of July 2nd, 1863, Jenny was downstairs making bread for the family when a stray Confederate bullet came through 2 separate doors and hit her in the back, piercing her heart and killing her. Aww. Oh,
poor Jeannie.
I can't believe the bullets could go that far back then. Also, it's so sad. Her family wrapped her body in a quilt and carried her to the basement of the home, where she lay until the fighting ceased. Because, you're not going outside.
Yeah, no. What else are you going to do?
Jeannie was the only civilian to die in the entirety of the Battle of Gettysburg. That's surprising.
That is really surprising.
Her family buried her temporarily in the front yard of the house before moving her to a cemetery almost half a year later. Ooh. Yikes.
Yeah, not a fun task.
No, and then to another cemetery some years after that.
Oh.
Lots of digging.
Okay, yes.
Leave her be.
Yeah, just
let her just rest.
Rest in peace.
The sudden violent manner of her death and the multiple disturbances to her grave are believed to have contributed to the hauntings at the Jenny Wade house, and many visitors to the site have reported being pushed, scratched, and pinched. She pissed.
She's like, I was just making bread, which in and of itself was tedious, like back in those days.
They're like, you all have sliced bread? Pinch. I would too, Jeannie.
Bunny bread.
Right. Number 5, Gettysburg College. Many of the historic buildings around the city, we've got to go here. This seems so cool to visit these.
We say this about every place. And
I know, but how
we go nowhere
to visit these buildings. Oh my gosh.
We're going to make a commitment.
Yeah.
Keaton will never forgive us, though, if we do that before the promised New York trip.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Many of the historic buildings around the city were used as emergency hospitals, yes we know, and morgues during the Battle of Gettysburg, and Gettysburg College is no exception. Both Confederate and Union soldiers took up residence in the college Pennsylvania Hall. That's awkward.
Yeah.
Are you like, what Union over here, Confederate over here? Don't talk to each other?
They just put like a line down the floor. Don't cross this.
Right. Or maybe they were all just like,
we don't want to be here either.
Just like like hanging out, and then then you go out, and then anyway, horrifying. Untold scores of men died from battle wounds, infection, and illnesses on the college grounds, so it's no wonder the school has experienced subsequent hauntings and paranormal energies. Many students and professors have reported paranormal activity, such as objects going missing or being moved, flickering lights, and sensing negative energies. But there have also been numerous reports of seeing full-bodied apparitions of soldiers around the college. However, it's not only spirits of soldiers which are purported to wander Gettysburg College. The campus is also home to a spirit known as the Blue Boy, an orphan who froze to death one winter's night while seeking shelter at the college. Oh my gosh.
Terrible.
Many students have reported seeing the face of the Blue Boy in the windows of one of the college's dorms on cold winter nights.
Let him in! Blue. Ew, that's... I mean, is he like not transparent at all? Like, how did they know he's blue?
Well, some people, when they talk about seeing ghosts, like, they're not transparent. They look just like you or I, which is confusing. Then how do you know they're a ghost? Because they're disappearing. They're gone.
Because they're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, you don't know them. Who are you? Sitting on my toilet, Pete Davidson.
Yeah. Are you a ghost?
What is wrong with me?
Oh, sorry. Bumping knees.
It's okay. I'm bumping knees. I don't know why I did that.
R&B songs in the 90s.
More. Number 4, the Children's Orphanage. This is sad. Originally known as the National Homestead at Gettysburg, this orphanage was one of many built across the country in response to the thousands of children who were orphaned by the Civil War. I never thought about that until just now. Yikes. The Gettysburg Children's Orphanage was built with good intentions and had a promising start, but when the headmistress was replaced by a woman named Rosa J. Carmichael, things took a turn for the worst. Oh, God, she's like the freaking Trunchbull. We're reading Matilda to Rory right now. Matilda's a really awkward and kind of inappropriate book. Rolled. I'm like, there's no N, so it always trips me up. Doll. What's up? You messed up, sir. Some of it is like really messed up, though.
Well, he's dead, right?
Surely. Yeah, like I just read her Charlie and the Chocolate Factory too. Not as bad, but there's some stuff in Matilda that I'm like, I am skipping this because it's so traumatizing. The Trunchbull's the worst. She's Miss Honey's aunt. Anyway, have you read that lately? Probably not. Rosa Carmichael. Ugh, this is terrible. Trigger warning. If you have children or, devised horrific punishments for the children living at the orphanage, even going so far as to create a dungeon in the basement where she chained misbehaving children to the walls and kept them locked up for days without food or water. Don't work with kids if you hate kids.
No, I've never
Go do something else.
There's a million other jobs.
Yes. Like, God. Oh
Anything else.
Yeah, and these kids are orphans. Think about the trauma. Yeah. Of course they're misbehaving. Get them outside. Get some games going.
And back in those days, misbehaving was probably like not
speaking out of turn.
Shining your shoes well enough or something.
Right.
You know, ridiculous.
Yes. And their parents are dead. I mean, like, give them a break. You're the worst, Rosa Carmichael. I hope you are just suffering for eternity. Worse still was the pit, a small, lightless crevice in the dungeon where children were forced to stay as punishment. That is literally torture. Many people believe the orphanage is haunted by the spirits of children who died from disease and malnourishment, while others believe it is Rosa Carmichael herself who haunts the grounds. Don't care, Rosa.
No, and she better not be like mingling
with the
children's ghosts. Not okay. I hope they are like making her life miserable.
Here's a picture of the place. What are those kids holding? It almost looks like baseball bats, but then it also kind of looks like guns. It's like just a ton of kids outside in the yard.
Like this kid doing this looks like a baseball bat, but then these other kids there, the way they're holding them, it does look like guns.
Yeah.
Are they training them?
I don't know. Why? Yikes. Maybe. I feel like a sneeze is coming. Sorry.
Bless you.
Excuse me, everyone. Moving on. Number 3. Little Round Top. I don't know what this means. At this strategic point in the battlefield area of Gettysburg, it's rumored that the spirit of George Washington appeared before Union soldiers twice.
Oh.
Once to lead them in the right direction before the fighting started, and a second time in the heat of battle to spur them onwards. Maybe he's their guardian spirit guide.
Can you imagine, like, George Washington, whose dad told us.
Right, but similar, you know, like the ballerina dancer thing.
Right.
You know, he's like, okay, men and boys, literally.
Yes.
Let's go this way. The division commander testified to the president's ghostly appearance, saying, "We know not what mystic power may be possessed by those who are now..." I have no idea what this word is. Look at this B word right here.
Bivouacking? What is that?
The 1800s.
Yeah,
what a time.
God, so many weird words to learn.
He's basically meaning who are now like hanging with the dead. I only know the effect, but I dare not deny or explain the cause. Who shall say that Washington was not among the number of those who aided the country that he founded? I mean, he had a stake in it.
Bivouac. I said it right.
Yeah.
It's a temporary camp without tents or cover, used especially by soldiers or mountaineers.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Without tents or cover. Ew. You're just like laying in the ground. Yikes. Little Round Top was also known as the, quote, Valley of Death and the, quote, Slaughter Pen because of how many men lay decomposing where they fell for months after the battle had ended. That's so sad. Little Round Top is thought to be one of the more paranormally active areas of the battlefield because of the intensity of the fighting that occurred there and the sheer number of men who fell in the heat of the battle. So basically, it's just kind of like a little hole in the ground, kind of, surrounded by rocks. Oh. So they probably laid there and like sniper shot out of the hole, I would imagine. That's me and my knowing nothing about anything.
Well, that's like their cover.
Yeah, cover. Thank you for that. Number 2, Gettysburg National Cemetery. Cemeteries are by far the most active paranormal hotspots in this region. You can't really have a terror-filled walkabout without visiting a cemetery or two. Who wrote this? Not me.
Walkabout.
The site of almost 4,000 Civil War graves, the Gettysburg National Cemetery is one of the most paranormally active sites in the entire city. After the battle, thousands of soldiers' bodies lay decomposing across the farmlands of Gettysburg. I mean, the sheer number, 50,000 people. Many soldiers had been buried where they fell on the battlefield, marked only by a wooden board. And who are the people that are going out burying all these people? I mean, it's like
hideous, terrible, traumatic.
And you're looking around and you're like, well, no end in sight.
Yeah,
it's just terrible. Rain and wind began uncovering remains across the city, and fearing the spread of disease, the residents of Gettysburg called for a proper cemetery to be created. I mean, yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah,
that
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, we have all these bodies.
Well, it sounds like they were buried, but just not deep enough, and then they were like coming up.
Well, I mean, you just probably have like literally a guy and a shovel walking around. Yeah. He's not going to be able to dig a 6 by whatever
9 foot deep
thing for every single person.
Or is it 6 foot down? 9 foot. I don't know.
I don't either.
How do we not?
If you're taller than 6 foot, sorry.
Well, you're not vertical down there.
Well, I mean, like the length though of the hole.
Oh yeah.
If 6 is
I'm with you.
I may have just made up the 6. I don't even know.
6 feet down. Yeah,
I think
it's
so.
6. Okay. So it took them 4 months to bury everyone properly. Gettysburg National Cemetery was erected as a Union federal burial place where the bodies of Confederate soldiers were left to their impromptu graves until Southern veteran societies were able to begin reburial processes in the 1870s. So yeah, like all the Confederate soldiers weren't from around there, so they had to like take them back home. You know what I mean?
How would you even know where to take them? Did they
have some sort of identified? Like in their uniform or something? I don't know. But then what are you just like, bring out your dead?
Yeah.
Carrying.
I have no idea. Or like, here they are. Come see if you find someone you know.
Oh my gosh.
So horrible.
So there were Southern veteran societies, and maybe that was like their job because they began the burial procedures in the 1870s. I don't know. It's really crazy. So obviously the violent deaths, make people think it's a highly active paranormal location. The cemetery is also where Abraham Lincoln delivered, hey Abe, his famous Gettysburg Address. And as he himself noted in the speech, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
I know.
You're so eloquent.
Yeah, I would have if I lived in the 1800s, I'd be like, what? What'd you say, Abe?
No, you would have known because you would have talked like that too. But why'd they complicate it? So why do you have to be like that?
It's too much.
Of course, nowadays it's like YOLO, LOL. Like we've dumbed it down too much. Yay!
I can't even say my full name. I just have to say yay.
Yeah, I don't have the time for 2 syllables.
Imagine Amy. They like A. I'd be like what? With. Or just knee.
And I'm me and knee. Taking on a show on the road.
We're like a band. Oh my God. All right, number 1, and then I'll wrap this up. The Devil's Den. Now this is another one of those holes in the ground basically for cover. But much bigger. You can see it here. It's like much bigger.
Oh, that's a trench.
Yeah, a trench. Thank you. That's the hole in the ground. That's what I was looking for.
That's so smart.
Thank you. That's your check.
There, I finally got something.
Done for today. The site of heavy casualties and fierce fighting, the Devil's Den is a rock formation that's believed to be the most paranormally active location in the entire Gettysburg battlefield. Some reports say the site is named Devil's Den because it was rumored that the devil, taking the form of a massive snake, lived deep inside the rock formation. Did they see that? More than 2,000 men perished in the battle as they fought to take possession of the Devil's Den. Oh, so they're like, we want that trench.
We want the Devil's Den. Did they call it the Devil's Den then, or did it get that, I wonder, name afterwards?
I don't know. So they were fighting over who got the...
Well, yeah, because that's a really good,
cover.
Hiding
trench.
hole or whatever you want to call it. It's thing to get in and shoot out of.
Oh, my God. The most commonly reported paranormal experience at the Devil's Den is that cameras inexplicably lose all battery power or short out when visitors try to take a picture. Many believe there is a spirit who dislikes photographs being taken at the site, and others claim that the spirit belongs to a Confederate soldier whose body was heartlessly staged in different positions around the battlefield by a Civil War photographer. What?
Yeah.
No.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's terrible. They're dragging this guy's body around and staging it.
I don't think that would have done such a thing.
But maybe, a Civil War photographer, you're like, I want that cheddar.
Fake news.
Fake Civil War news. That's absolutely terrible. Shame on that person.
Yes.
As one of the Gettysburg battlefield park rangers put it, quote, if there's a disgruntled spirit in Devil's Den that has animosity toward photographers, it certainly would be that guy.
Yeah.
Way to put it.
As he should be.
And that is the Ghosts of Gettysburg.
Very good. Very good.
End.
We never published that episode, so
we didn't?
No.
There's a specific episode where Amy goes, the end. Real sexual. And so it just took off. But now you all...
But it didn't take... It only took off with us.
Yeah,
the only
took off for us, too.
Or if you're an OG listener, you would have heard it.
Oh.
It was our very first ever Halloween special. Then we realized we were stupid. We
really
need to clean up our act.
Yeah. The end.
All right. So now you know what that is. Whitney has referenced 95 times.
It's just so funny every time.
Episode.
Excuse me. It's literally the fun. The end. It wasn't that. It has grown into a life of its own.
Well, I've been telling the story. Then I started talking about something else, and I forgot to tell you the story was over. So then I'm just in mid-sentence, just said, the end.
Just like that. So good.
All right.
Oh, Lord help me.
So I'm talking about my sensual voice. Let's move on to Frankenstein Castle.
Have you done this one?
Oh, God, I hope not.
You've done this one.
No, I have not. Have I really?
Your face.
Please tell me you're kidding.
Hold on. Let's pause. Hold on. Pause.
Okay.
Okay, it worked.
We're going. Hey.
There's going to be a weird spot in there, but Chris can figure that out.
You guys, this was bound to happen at some point. I really can't believe. So I've done it. In my defense, I don't have one.
It doesn't matter. It's literally bound to happen.
So, anywho, now I just got on Reddit and found something. So I'm just going to read this whole Reddit thread.
This is literally what I do every time, not knowing what I'm reading.
No.
So.
This is from U. Ellie Sly. Oh, and this was just published 16 hours ago. So this is very...
snap.
It is called, My Sleep Paralysis Demon Screams at Me to Tell Them What I Feel.
Tell me your feelings.
I, 22F, assuming that means she's 22 and a female, have suffered from sleep paralysis on a regular basis since I turned a year old. Every single sleep...
Since I turned 1 year old?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's awful. 21 years of sleep paralysis.
And a baby and a kid?
How do you remember?
Oh, also that.
Every single sleep of my life has either been an immersive lucid dream, lucid, not lucid, or sleep paralysis. You might think I'm being dramatic when I say this, but I am 100% sure that my first ever memory was actually sleep paralysis.
Oh.
What a terrible first memory.
I know.
To start, I've moved at least 20 times since I was born. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's once a year almost.
And I have memories of sleep paralysis in every single bedroom I have ever had. All my descriptions of early bedrooms have been confirmed as accurate by my parents. We moved from my first house when I was around 1 year and a couple of months. So my first experience was a little bit after my first birthday. At this point, we lived in a 2-story house. I have 2 older brothers who shared a bedroom in the bottom story of the house, right next to my bedroom. Our parents' bedroom was just up the staircase so that if their bedroom door was open, they could more or less see me sleeping in my crib. I was notorious for waking up in the middle of the night. Most babies are.
That's a baby thing.
And screaming bloody murder at that age. Most babies are. According to my mom, there was absolutely nothing they could do to put me back to sleep as long as I was downstairs in my room. It quickly became routine for my parents then to just bring me upstairs as fast as possible whenever I was screaming, mostly to spare my poor brothers from listening to my hysterics all night.
And to wake, they didn't want them to wake up.
More kids they have more children to take care of.
Yes.
Whenever they brought me upstairs, however, I would fall asleep immediately and never wake up until my parents had to physically wake me the morning after. This was the routine up until my first ever experience. As per the routine, I started screaming my lungs out around 1 a.m. according to my mom. She picked me up as usual and brought me upstairs to their bedroom and put me in their bed where I quickly fell asleep. Again, this was the routine they were used to. Now, this is where my first memory starts. I remember being tucked in between my mom and dad. Not safe. I distinctly remember...
How old's this baby at this point?
I'm assuming just like 1 and something. I distinctly remember the residual scent of my mother's perfume mixed in with the smell of her breath on my face. God, Mom! Did you brush your teeth before bed? She's just
breathing on her baby.
My dad's hand was stretched over my legs and drawing my mother closer as they tucked in around me.
What?
Well, you're going to suffocate the baby.
This is the weirdest sleeping situation.
It wasn't sleep paralysis. Your parents were crushing you.
Why is his hand over grabbing the wife's legs? A circle. They're making a circle around her. This is weird.
You're in a mom and dad sandwich. Eventually, I woke up slightly confused. I didn't know why I was awake. I remember feeling very confused. I wanted to try to explore the room and try to find out what had woken me.
Explore the room?
You're 1.
Can she walk?
Maybe her with her eyes.
Oh.
She meant, I don't know. And I just
moved
my eyes like you didn't know what I meant.
I'm exploring the room with my eyes. This is what that looks like. Thank you, Amy.
No matter how hard I tried, though, I couldn't move a single muscle in my body. Oh. My eyes darted around the room.
Yeah, you got this. You got this.
I just did a reenactment of darting eyes. Desperately trying to discover the source of my discomfort. It's your father!
Squishing you.
Him. Feeling absolutely helpless, I tried screaming out to try to wake my mom or dad so they could help me, but no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make a single sound. I distinctly remember the feeling of my tears running down my cheeks as I was laying there mortified over the fact I couldn't make a sound. That's when I saw them. 2 peculiar figures standing at the edge of the bed. Their forms illuminated by the subtle glow of the moonlight creeping through the curtains of the windows behind them.
No.
The figure on the left was the tallest. The one on the left was around half a head shorter.
That's a really weird way to measure.
I couldn't really see much detail on their bodies, as their bodies looked almost as if they were out of focus. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't focus on any detail. Their faces, on the other hand, I wished I could delete certain details.
Oh, God.
I want to reiterate again, I was just barely a year old at this point. My reference bank of people at this point was my parents and 2 older brothers. Okay, obviously. Seeing these 2 figures standing at the edge of the bed, I remember immediately thinking that this had to be my brothers wearing masks or something.
You don't know what masks are at 1.
Unless you've experienced Halloween right before or something, maybe. The worst thing, though, was that even though... Sorry, that's a hard sentence to read. I thought that the figures in front of me were my big brothers. I was still terrified. Their faces held the most grotesque grimaces I've ever seen. And I still do not understand how I imagined them. The only way I can describe how the expressions were is imagine if a fox and a badger were taxidermied, but the taxidermist's main inspiration was the uncanny valley. I don't know what that means. That? I spent years believing my brothers hid these horrible animal faces and would spend those nights at the end of my parents' bed just staring at me.
Like they just come at it?
Look,
they have nothing better to do?
We're 3 and 4 on taxidermy on the side. What?
Right, and like they put those masks on to come to her bedside every night.
No matter what I did, though, I could never break eye contact with them.
I
know my description of my first ever sleep paralysis encounter might seem a bit long and too detailed. The thing is, though, although the subjects of my sleep paralysis has changed hundreds and hundreds of times since then, they've always just stared at me. There's been talking, sure, but it's never been directed at me. I've had sleep paralysis where I've heard my entire family being murdered. Ew.
What?
I've heard people screaming outside that my house is on fire and that everyone needs to evacuate. But no one has ever talked to me. In 22 years of sleep paralysis, almost every single month, there was always at least one figure just standing at the foot of my bed, just staring at me, keeping eye contact. They've never, ever asked me a single question. They've never said anything directly to me. They've only ever stared at me until last night.
Oh my God. What? I mean, you'd be afraid to go to sleep every night. So once a month for like 21 years.
For life. The last few weeks have been filled with the weirdest kind of sleep I've ever experienced. I haven't experienced much sleep paralysis for the last few years. An isolated experience here and there, but nothing other than that. I used to sleep 10 to 14 hours every time I had the time to sleep in. I have no idea what that's like.
Me neither.
This was especially true during weekends. As long as my blinders were up, I could sleep until physically disturbed.
Blinds, you mean?
Yeah.
Just blinds.
And they're not up, they're down. Oh my God, why is my iPad verifying an update right now? Please stop. Please stop.
Did it stop?
No, I can't move anything.
Do you want me to pause?
Why is it? No, just keep rolling. Oh, God.
Can you see?
Let me try to pull this up on my phone.
How does that happen? What does that even mean?
I don't know why it's updating. This is like the biggest disaster. I have the Reddit app on my phone. Yeah. Hang on.
Sorry, everyone. Literally just in the middle of Amy's iPad, it just pops up, verifying update, and then the little spinny tick thing, you know? And it won't let her...
Won't let me do anything.
It won't let her do anything. And it's not even doing anything. So that, it just can take over your iPad. That's great.
Cool.
So.
Okay, I found it.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Jesus. But now I have to read on my phone. Okay, here we go. This is my life, okay?
You're doing great, Amy.
All right, thanks. The past few months, however, something has changed. No matter how tired I feel, I cannot sleep longer than 6 a.m. at most. Boo-hoo, I can't sleep past 4:30. It absolutely does not matter how late I stay up. I still wake up at 6 a.m. on the dot. It's not that I feel like I've slept enough at that point either. I'll wake up exhausted and go to sleep even more exhausted. I feel ya.
Yeah.
And still wake up at 6 a.m. only to repeat the pattern. Yesterday, I went to sleep around 22:45 p.m. Is this military time?
I have no idea what. 22?
22.45. Not.
Well, 00 is.
But not colon. Just
midnight.
Point.
Wait, it should be a colon. It's midnight. So what is that? 10 something?
I have no idea.
I'm going to go with that.
I've been sick all week, and I had a lecture today that I was excited for, and I wanted to make sure I was well rested for the next day. As I said, I'm a 22-year-old student. I don't recall you saying that. I live alone in the same apartment I lived in for 2 years with my cat that I've had since I was 8 years old. I haven't heard a single sound. Oh, God, now there's a freaking group text coming in on my phone. God.
Your iPad's literally updating right now.
Yeah.
It's like...
my cat fell asleep in between my legs, and I can't even say that I had any dreams. That was honestly my first sign that this wasn't going to be a quiet evening for me. My cat did wake up a couple of times in the early night, poking me and trying to get my attention. After 15 years, I know exactly how it feels when she's the one to wake me up. There's absolutely no room for confusion. I woke up at around 3 a.m. last night. Immediately, I was struck by this sudden small feeling I'd never felt before in my life. I couldn't open my eyes, no matter how hard I tried, no matter how hard I wanted. I could not open my eyes. And they're throwing the F-bomb all over the place here, but it's appropriate here. At this point, I tried my hardest to scream as loud as I thought possible. I could feel the weight of my cat sleeping peacefully on my legs, even though I still couldn't see her. I screamed and screamed. I pushed and pushed and tore my voice apart as hard as I could to escape this horrible unholiness. I forced mutism and blindness, keeping me hostage as my body still laid in my bed completely paralyzed. My only connection to reality right now is my cat. I could hear her purring. I could hear water fountain trickling in the background.
Weird.
I could still hear her making biscuit whilst pawing at me. What, your cat's making pancakes? I don't know what's happening now.
Bisquick. Love it.
But it's biscuit.
No clue.
Bisquit. The sound of it all in place of my forced silence was almost deafening as I laid there sleeping. That was until the point it all stopped. I struggled against my own body, trying to force my eyes open to no avail. The harder I tried to force my eyes open, the harder and more painful it became. I couldn't get a single glimpse of what was happening. As it happened, though, I felt a large hand grab the lower part of my face and push it down into the dark. The hand kept a firm hand on my face as it kept down. I could hear this one voice reverberate almost inside my ears as they were screaming at me. Hey, Ellie. Hey, how does it feel? I see you. Look at me. Tell me how it is. Hey, effing listen to me. Tell me, look at me. Come on, I effing dare you. Look at me. Effing listen to me. Tell me how you effing feel, huh? Hello, I see you. Tell me how it feels. Hello. No matter how much I kept trying to scream, I just couldn't make it stop. The voice just kept repeating the same thing, never allowing me to see anything until I begged it to stop. The screaming kept going on for at least 45 minutes.
What?
Before I was physically able to open my eyes and make them stop. I'm terrified to go to sleep tonight. Edit. For everyone telling me to go to the doctor, I've been to the doctor several times. I've done sleep studies, sleep therapy, and it's something I talk about with my therapist a lot. I'm aware that sleep paralysis in general is not paranormal, but this did not feel like a sleep paralysis, which is why I posted here. My sleep paralysis is never actually scary to me because I know what it is, and they are always just standing there. I have several tricks I use.
That's still scary.
Yeah, I used to normally bring myself out of paralysis, but none of those worked this time, which again made me feel this wasn't normal.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the tips and reassurance, though. I appreciate it.
They have tips on how to get out of...
I guess.
Let's see.
So then we have XDW94XD.
Wow.
I had similar ever since I was little as well. Now, if I have sleep paralysis coming, I just know, and I just wake up immediately. Just have to have the courage to overcome the fear and say F you to them. Okay, but she said she's has things that work.
That feels like victim blaming.
And then Kratom Queen, 1836 says,
Crotch Queen.
Listen to music while you sleep. No, that's not helpful.
What kind of music? Like, that's very vague.
And then we have Marisley Sis. I don't know, 33. I'm so sorry you're going through that. How awful. I'm not an expert, but your story matches up with others that experience what some call fear feeders.
What?
Oh, write that topic down. Sounds
fear feeders.
Look that up sometime. Sounds like they are attached to you early on. Either your parents or someone close to the family was playing around with the occult, or it was in your first home and attached to you. Have you tried the simple stuff, like blessing your room with holy water and asking Jesus to protect you?
Can you just bless your own room?
That's not that simple. During any attack, ask in the name of Jesus that they leave you alone. If you can't speak, scream it in your mind. It'll still work. If at all possible, never let them feed off of you again. Well,
how do you know?
Allowing this.
And how do you know if they're feeding off of you?
They're using your energy. It sounds like it's getting worse. Edited to add, I hope you don't feel like you're losing your mind. It's typical that paranormal starts off one way and changes to another. In my opinion, the success of the early entities is inviting in worse entities who want to partake in the attacks. I'm just saying it's common for the occurrences to have a whole different vibe or to feel them. I wish you the best. Okay, thanks. That was nice.
That's super nice.
Zampy Zero. I struggle with sleep paralysis too. You know what helped me? Edibles.
Hey, Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Apparently, sleep paralysis is less likely if you consume pot.
Hey, then smoke it or eat it every single day.
I used a high CBD edible to sleep, and I haven't had any sleep paralysis since I started. Might be worth a try if it's legal where you are.
Or move to where it is legal, because...
And sleeping on my back and being too warm were triggers for me. Great! So a cooler room and sleeping on my side has helped. See, Jamie, there's a reason I have that pillow and all my fans. And then...
Jamie's screwed then with his...
Sheer Determination says... I hate sleep paralysis so much.
Yes,
Thank you.
We all do.
Hector Spieler says, tell it to F off. Seriously. I think what these are interdimensional energy parasites, and they feed off of strong emotions like fear. That's why it's hell-bent on scaring you.
These are our people.
I've gotten sleep paralysis my whole life, too, but after a while I realized they can't hurt you. If it could hurt you, it would have done so already.
Well, I mean, that's true, though, right?
I mean, I guess.
I mean, in 20 years.
Pretty Slim, lots of M, says, so sleep paralysis is a form of astral projection.
Oh.
If you stop resisting it and relax, you can break into the astral realm.
I don't want to do that.
I used to get sleep paralysis a lot and was scared. When I learned this fairly recently, I'd stopped getting it because I consciously asked it stop by cursing at it. And I never had it again. But when I found out you could astral project, I asked for it back and got it. I astral projected for a small amount of time, like a few seconds, and woke up.
To where?
They don't say.
To Target.
Yeah. Haven't done it since. Look up astral projection and sleep paralysis. You're getting summoned by the astral realm. But your visitor sounds scary, and I wouldn't recommend leaving your body without research. You can be trapped out, and someone else can take over. Don't do any of that.
No, that's not smart. No.
And then Banana Boss Baboon says, hey, I was just reading what their name is.
Best username ever.
Have you tried not being afraid? I know that sounds dumb, but is there any way you can try to relax? My sleep paralysis demons went away when I stopped fearing them, but curiosity over fear came naturally. Maybe meditate yourself into sleep paralysis and just try to relax while you're in, prepared for anything to come. I don't know if that's good advice, but it worked for me. And then Ellie Lee actually replied to this one and said, I've never actually been scared of my sleep paralysis since they just stand there. This one was hard not being terrified of.
Yeah.
It's like pushing your face.
Yeah.
Then Kratodomi says, yo, you're full of poop, except curse word. Nobody has a memory of being a year old. And then
that is kind of questionable.
Kurtamo Queen comes back.
Oh, gosh.
And says, the beginnings of their usernames are spelled exactly the same. Kratodomi and Krato Queen.
Interesting.
I remember things from when I was one because when you have sleep paralysis, it's difficult. And then he or she comes back and says, that doesn't make any sense. You remember things from when you were a year old because sleep paralysis is difficult? LOL, what? Multiple question marks. From the information available in the research I've done, really, you've done research, there's absolutely zero correlation between memory and sleep paralysis. If you have something to prove me wrong, I'd be curious to see it. Shut up.
So rude.
And then Pretty Slim comes back. I do remember my first birthday party. So many people were there, and I remember walking around and looking up at people towered over me. I remembered wearing a yellow dress with red polka dots, but that's all I remember. And then Cat the Dog 7 says, you can also trick yourself into having false memories just by looking at... Okay, but this person really has sleep paralysis.
Yes, what about
Maybe
that?
she got her ages mixed up. Who cares?
Yeah, let's focus on the yelling in her
shut
face
up.
thing.
And then Kratodomi comes back and talks about your brain is a statistical anomaly or you're just wrong. Shut up.
Shut up.
And then Toltek56 says Xanax or weed is helpful, but you need a serious neurological workup. Nobody should be experiencing that many sleep paralysis episodes without
that
the
is
brain.
a lot.
Yes. But then again, Ellie Slee comes back and is like, hey, yo, I've been to lots of doctors, everybody. Back off. I've done everything I can, so please. Yeah. And then Banana Boss Baboon comes back and says, yeah, I've only heard voices to me once during sleep paralysis, and it was quite unsettling. I think it's good to keep in mind that the only power these entities have is the power you give them, even though fear and anxiety is often very hard to control. Yeah, it is.
True.
Because it's a coping mechanism and a survival skill.
Right.
Oh, that's a really long one. How are we? Should I wrap it up?
64 minutes.
So, Love Time Space says, I found a trick that wakes me up every time.
Okay, I want to hear this.
One thing you can still control while in SP is your breathing. Take a very deep breath in and then use that air to make a small sound in your throat. It will usually not be a pretty sound and won't be very loud, but it works. Making that sound will wake your body up. It sort of seems like it makes my brain realize, oh, she's awake in there. I find SP not scary at all now that I can wake myself up. Sometimes I will just chill and wait to wake up.
Why?
Yeah. Also wanted to say that no matter how realistic the room around you looks in SP, know that your eyes are actually closed and your mind is recreating the room around you.
That's really helpful.
Yes. I realized this after seeing my room in my SP and seeing my hand in front of me on my pillow with purple nail polish. It was photorealistic. I could have sworn I was seeing the actual room. When I woke up, I realized I'm not wearing purple nail polish.
Ugh. That's so weird. When I've had sleep paralysis, I'm not seeing my own room. I'm like in a dream.
Yeah. And then Highway Gal 91 says to wiggle your toes.
Okay.
That will help. So that's
Wiggle
good.
your
These
toes.
are good things to help.
We need resources for how to get out of it.
Ogan's Baby says smoke weed, a lot of it. And then Accidental Hoe replies to Ogan's Baby, but it's Axe, A-X-E.
Girl, you're not an accidental hoe.
Says, honestly, though, in no way am I forcing you to do anything, but from personal experience, I rarely ever dream if I smoke before bed. It almost interrupts my REM cycle in a way.
Well, that's not great either.
But it doesn't mess with my sleep. If that makes sense. Just no dreams. Everyone's different, however. And then Kwanghu68 says, same here. Quit smoking weed for a week. I can remember every single dream within that week. Oh. Okay, whatever.
Well, yeah, do what you need to do. If edibles helps, do it. If it's legal.
Okay, I'm going to stop there because a lot of people are really coming after them for saying they have memories from being one. But it's like, whatever. Nice. That's not for you to judge.
Well, Amy, way to really, way to come back.
That is the literal, example of pulling something out of my butt.
Hey, you did it, and it was interesting.
And then my iPad started updating. Is it updated?
It's updated.
It has been updated. Software. I'm now up to the most current software.
Thank goodness. How would we live without it?
And now it won't let me on without verifying my password. Great. My life in a nutshell.
Well, you did. That was wonderful.
I have no recollection of doing Frankenstein Castle.
So
none whatsoever.
You did it the episode I did Stigmata. The only reason I know that is because
probably why I don't remember then because that was amazing.
I just looked. So okay, great.
Okay, guys, sorry.
Well, everyone, thank you for coming along on that ride with us.
It was a ride.
It was something. Join us on our socials. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. We're on all of them.
Reach out to us.
Yeah, send us an email.
We'll reach back.
onthehaunt@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Rate, review, subscribe,
download.
Whatever is available on your platform.
Please. We really appreciate it.
We love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.